I did not change into this. I slept in this. Our anniversary was earlier this week, so we went out on a dinner date last night. And I promptly put myself into a food coma and fell asleep. I feel miserable today. Earlier this month, I put out a video called The Golden Rule. Treat others the way you wish to be treated, to improve your empathy and decrease the confusion of complicated adult situations and relationships. Put yourself in the other person's shoes and treat them if you were them. Not who you think they are, but if you were them, given all you know about them from their point of view in this situation. How would you like you to behave? This is Golden Rule Take 2. Some people, myself included, I tend to just stick to the routine. The obligations, the duties that are required of me or that I self-impose that aren't necessarily required. Who says I have to get my steps in? Who says I have to do yoga every day? I do. I do this to myself. I am not feeling well today, yet I am compelled to try to wake myself up here and do my yoga because I haven't in 3 days, and I'm feeling guilty. I feel like I have a massive hangover I didn't earn. If some people treated others the way they not wish to because they don't even think to treat themselves, they just do. They just do life, do their obligations, even the self-imposed ones that aren't required. They don't take themselves into the equation as much as they should. If they treated others the way they actually treat themselves, they would be mistreating others. When it comes to things like rest, relaxation, self-care, kindness, forgiveness, being your own cheerleader rather than your own worst enemy, your self-talk, shaming and guilting yourself for not doing everything 100% of the time, or anytime you have a negative, sad day, a down feeling, a bitter or angry feeling, any of those negative states or negative emotions, and you have a secondary response of beating yourself up for being a bad person, or always being so negative, or angry, or wrong, and you denigrate yourself, or feel guilt or shame on top of a natural, normal, negative state that everyone experiences. You're not going to be 100% of the time. And we are our own worst critic. We will whip ourselves into shape and make ourselves do things even when we are physically sick. And God forbid we have a emotional wound or a psychiatric problem going. If you had an injury to your leg, you broke your ankle, or you had an extreme unusual pain, you'd probably go to the doctor and get it checked out before you end up a massive catastrophe. And you wouldn't berate yourself for your physical pain. When it comes to emotional and mental states, you won't go get it checked out, even when it's necessary, when you know that something's off, or at least some self-care, some chicken noodle soup for the soul at home, and take care of it. You would if your kid came up to you and they had a rough day at school and they were teased and they were made fun of. You would scoop them up and you would care for them. You wouldn't tell them, buck up. It's a cruel world. Get over it. Dry your tears and go clean your room. March on, soldier. And worst case scenario, you wait and you wait and you wait and you do have a legitimate mental illness or severe emotional crisis, and you allow yourself to get all the way down to clinical depression or some sort of bad behavior, lashing out, acting out in your life because you are stressed to the brink. You are physically stretched to the brink. You are wounded to the brink. And so you begin to act negatively in ways that impact your relationships in your life rather than attending to yourself or seeking help to attend to those psychiatric and emotional injuries the way we would a physical injury. Either home care or go to a doctor. But we don't. And we don't talk to ourselves the way that we would talk to a child. Having a rough day, not feeling good, not 100% mind, body, spirit. We don't tell them, chin up, march on, soldier. I don't know if I'm making much coherent sense. As I said, I really do not feel well today. Which brings me to my quote. Treat yourself the way in which you would treat others. Bit of a twist on the golden rule. Treat others the way you wish to be treated. Treat yourself the way in which you would treat others. Hopefully you're a kind and good person. Or you've been working towards that. I'm assuming people that actually watch these kind of videos and watch the whole videos that I put out are good, kind people. If you treat yourself the way that you're treating other people and you're treating other people miserably, well, then you're going to be pretty miserable if you spin that around on yourself. But by and large, I'm assuming the people that this video in particular is geared toward are the people who either intentionally ride themselves too hard or obliviously neglect themselves from the equation. They might even think that they're doing the right thing for themselves, not missing their workout, taking care of their body and their food, never going out to dinner with their partner or friends because the restaurant doesn't have vegan whatever friendly diet because they're really obsessively concerned about their nutrition or self-care, and they think they're making the right choices when really they've got it backward. And they wouldn't ever socially isolate another person. They wouldn't want their friend to never, ever, ever, ever treat themselves to a slice of cake, to never go out. They would never force or want their friend or child or partner to work to the bone when they are physically ill. They would never tell their kid when they came home from school with that bad day, just brush it off, shape up, chin up. Not only just push it down and ignore it and get over it. Life's hard, deal. Shove your emotions down, but then just immediately just go back to living life. We think we're making the right choices for ourselves, trying to do the healthy things. You are a whole being. You have a mind, you have emotions, you have a physical body, you have a spiritual body, you have a social body. All of those things need your TLC. You need to take all of those things into consideration and balance them. If you are feeling overwhelmed, feeling stressed to the brink, feeling burnt out. And there's not a specific situation right now happening. There's not something specific that is stressing you out. You're just in general burnt out. Take a step back, try to get the wide view angle of your life, and see if perhaps you are not treating yourself in some area the way you would treat others. You are expecting more of yourself, working while you're sick, always getting the kids to all of their events. Maybe there's some responsibilities for a little while you can delegate to some of the people who know and love you. Maybe you haven't got out to see the people who know and love you in a long time. Maybe you are pushing yourself too hard. Maybe you're not taking yourself into consideration. Maybe you're doing what I was going to do because I haven't done yoga in 3 days, and because I'm the kind of person who does yoga. I'm the kind of person who make myself, while I know I am ill, make right choices, which are actually wrong choices. If I were looking at any other person, regardless how many days they didn't work out before today, if they were sick today, I would not make them work out. I would not make them go to work. I would not make them or want them, if I cared about them, to push themselves when they're ill. So quote of the day one more time for those of us who need it. Treat yourself the way in which you would treat others. You count too. Sometimes we need to be reminded, and we don't take care of ourselves the way we could and should, even if we think we're doing it right. We'd do it better if we took an objective look and treated ourselves the way we treat others. Good morning, goodbye, peace, love, and rest day without shame, guilt, or self-bashing. Good morning, goodbye.